Hello YouTube, I'm your friendly neighborhood Spidey Wing, and today I'm going to be covering a thing that I just recently got, the Samurai Megazord from Power Rangers Samurai. This is actually pretty new for me, and it's a pretty new toy in general on the market, so since I'm liking it, I thought I'd cover it a little bit in some detail. See? Detail! Okay, enough of that. Give me a second, I'll rework things, and I'll get into the individual mecha. Whoa, angle change. Alright, starting from the beginning, we're going to cover the Red Ranger Zord, which is a lion. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, to me it's a lion, but that's only because I've watched all of ShinkenOh and I can see the lion motif in it. But removing that from the equation, it's still a darn good toy to me. I mean, for one thing, it doesn't look it, but it is heavy, and it is solid. Listen. See? That's how solid the thing is. And, while you probably won't be able to see it well, I'm going to zoom in anyway. Yeah. Crazy capture zoom. Yeah, you can kind of see it right down there. But all the little dots on the, Zord here are in fact a pentagon, which I think is extremely cool. Shiba Clan crest, Shiba Clan crest. Also, the lion is supposed to breathe fire, because as we all know, all lions can breathe fire. Okay, yeah. Other than that, it's pretty much a brick. It doesn't really do anything, and the one finishing move that the lion can do just by itself, a thing where it lights itself, converts itself back to origami form, lights itself on fire, and then rams the opponent, because ramming always works. You can't really do, because, again, and this is just the thing, you can't convert it to origami mode. And this holds true for almost every Zord, but you can kinda get close. Okay, so, let me get this thing back into lion mode, and what do we move on to? The dragon, which, based on pictures and reviews I've seen of the deluxe Samurai Gatai ShinkenOh, sorry, shades of another much better person at this than I am. This thing is completely different. It doesn't fold out in anything resembling the same way. And I still don't think that that's a bad thing. It still looks like a dragon, pretty clearly. It just doesn't look like the Ryu origami, which I think is kind of sad because I really like the way that looks. Then this sword's main gimmick is storage. See? And I've taken to nickname this thing the Dragon Egg. I don't know why, but it can lay the Dragon Egg. Also, not only that, if you want to store the sword somewhere, you can. Plug it in the dragon's butt. This is wonderful. This is wonderful on so many levels. I just said it to the side because I don't really care for doing that, but all things considered, I think for what you get, all of these are good, but the dragon origami kind of falls the most flat for me. Let's say we go ahead and then after that, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the bear. See? It's a bear. I think in terms of all of them, it does look the most like a bear. Shiba Clan crest is right there, by the way. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, it's a green bear that doesn't transform into its origami square. Saddening, but hey. It's still not that bad looking, though, in terms of being transferred over from, the bear origami from ShinkenOh. Mouth opens and closes. And, you know, it's still not bad. It's missing the big paint apps of the green, origami symbol on here, which I'm going to paint in at some point. I'm also going to do that for all the others, but yeah, again, it's not that bad. And then the ape Zord, you can call it a monkey, an ape, whatever, it carries over quite a bit of it, but you can't really fold it into its origami shape because the way that works is, you see this little spot right here? This little molded detail represents a joint on the Japanese release of ShinkenOh. It allows you to fold it in half to form most of the triangle, and there's also a little joint here in the wrist that goes back and lets you fold it in to complete the look of a triangle. All of that's not there, but other than that, it's still a good Zord, and what's not showing up in my lighting setup is that the yellow's actually rather darker looking, and I happen to like the way that looks. However, you remember earlier I said that, with by and large, the exceptions, there is one origami that is actually carried over completely faithfully, with the exception of paint, from ShinkenOh, and that is the turtle origami. You can see right here it looks, like a turtle for the most part. It's, like some others have said, it's a hockey puck. However, unlike the rest of the origami, this thing can actually assume its badge. See? That's because the head folds in and it actually doesn't look that bad. So, by default, I think in terms of carrying over gimmicks from Shinkenger's toy line for ShinkenOh, the Pink Ranger Zord does the best. Yes, the Pink Ranger Zord is the best as a carryover from Shinkenger. I think in terms of looks, though, again, the lion kind of wins out because it is big, it is massive, and it's an eye-catcher just because of the way it looks. All those edges, the fact that you can tell it's a lion, but it's like, it doesn't look like any lion you've ever seen. So, yeah. Now, with all these together, what can one do? Well, combine them. And now we have the Samurai Megazord, or ShinkenOh. As you can see, it looks very, very good. You get all the major details, and as you can see right there, which I didn't show in the combining video, the sword does attach to the side. Like I said, I still think this looks really nice. You can see all the important details, and something I should have touched on more, but didn't. All of them have that little, ridging in there that matches the badge shape of their origami. It's just really hard to tell because, at least in my case, my video quality is not the greatest. Posability is to be expected with Bandai of America and their deluxe mecha. The arms move, that's about it. You can pull the sword out, which I should talk about for a minute because although we do lose paint, and this is probably the handle on the ShinkenOh's saber is probably ABS from here to here, harder plastic. This entire blade is all PVC, by the way. You can see how bendy it is. But what we get to make up for that is actually detail on both sides of the blade. Unlike the deluxe ShinkenOh, whose blade detail is only really on one side, in this case we get two. So, comparing it, no, I don't really have a ShinkenOh to compare it to, but based on everything I've seen, for what you're paying, $27.99, it's not bad. It's really good. It carries over a lot of the stuff, and for later combinations, behold, the key to backpack power. So, it does everything it's supposed to do. You know, sure, you lose out on the emblem mode, which is kind of disheartening because it doesn't do everything the deluxe ShinkenOh can do. But for what you're paying, like I said, it's good. If you can really find it for, like, say, $24.99 or $19.99, it's an awesome buy at that price because that's why. It's so much more solid than than some of the other stuff. Like my Power Rangers Megazord is not that solid, but this thing is just dead solid as a rock. So, like I said, it's a good buy. So, with that, I'm your friendly neighborhood Spidey Wing. Thank you, and have a good day. Let us never speak of the limb swapping